'Cause I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I've breathed the mountain air, man. Of travel I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. Been to Tullamore, Seymour, Lismore, Mooloolaba, Nambour, Moochtor, Kilmore, Marillaba, Birdsville, Emmaville, Wallaville, Connemara,
Esperance.
Strathrown, Proserpine, Alladala,
Esperance.
Darwin, Gingin, Lillaquen, Muckdilla,
Salmon gums.
Wallaville, Cumberland, I'm a killer. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man.
We are going to stumble over a town one of these days where Lucky Star has actually been, but today we are off to Esperance, which is just a little bit south of Salmon Gums. That's why I threw that in. That's my only knowledge of that part of the world. Good morning to you, Grant Harris in Esperance.
Good morning. Good morning, Neil.
And you got Rob as the other voice. Now, the reason I said it is 11:45 in this part of the world, of course, in your part of the world, it's only 7:45. So thank you for getting up early and talking to us.
My pleasure.
Now, the question that we always start, I promised you some hard-hitting journalism, so are you ready?
I'm ready.
Where's Esperance?
Sorry?
Where's Esperance?
Well, look, it's southeast of Perth, 700 k's by road, hour and a half by plane, on the ocean, population 14,000 people. So.
And it's the bottom right-hand link in the famous Western Australian agricultural triangle, straight up to Geraldton, take in all the rest, and that is a seriously productive neck of the woods. But we talk a lot about agriculture when we have this situation, but your place, I drive to Esperance and I don't see agriculture, I just see beautiful relaxation, touristy fun. It's a beautiful, beautiful place you live, Grant.
Yeah, no, it is a fantastic place. Look, it is really a very productive agricultural hub, but also it has the benefit of being on the ocean and, 14,000 people, no traffic lights.
Gotta love that.
We're some of the best beaches in the world. The water's a bit cold, but no, it's just a fantastic place. There's plenty of beaching and camping and hiking, and it's got a lot going for it.
That cold water that you refer to would be the Southern Ocean, wouldn't it? You've come around the corner from the Indian.
Yep.
Yeah, so I must confess that Grant and I go back probably, and this will sort of devastate you a bit, Grant, 30 years ago. I think we first met. Grant was a customer of mine back in those days when I was doing some technical support for a large oil company. And I can remember going over to Esperance to visit Grant and his colleagues, flying over the top, continuing to fly for about an hour before getting on an aeroplane and flying back for an hour to get there. That's a bit inconvenient.
Yeah, if you fly from Melbourne, you'll come across the Bight and you'll fly over Esperance, and on a sunny day you look down and you can see it. But yeah, then you go, exactly, Neil, go to Perth and fly back.
Yes, it's a bit of a weird one. You could really do with handing out parachutes to people who are going to Esperance, and they could just save themselves about 3 hours.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, no, just drop in, literally.
Now, the beaches and the coastline, I'm well past going into the water, Grant, but what caught me was the beauty. When you're just driving along and you've got to stop the vehicle and go, wow, have a look at this, and this is right in the town. It's quite spectacular.
Look, we're lucky I'll go back 10 years ago. There was some funding came through from Royalties for Regions, and there was a really concerted effort to redevelop the foreshore, and it's just a beautiful. So there's a beautiful path along the foreshore. It's magnificent. So you drive along there in the morning, and there's just people walking, cycling, running in the town itself along the foreshore. It's just beautiful. So we're very lucky, and then you don't have to go very far. I think everyone's heard of Lucky Bay, so that's probably an hour from Esperance, and that's part of the Grand National Park. So in that park, there's as I said, walking trails, hiking trails, beaches, Frenchman's Peak to climb. So yeah, we really do enjoy some great amenities.
Grant, we talked about agriculture. There'll be a lot of the 14,000 people busy in that business, but what else keeps people busy in Esperance? What are your other non-agricultural type industries that are big employers?
Well, we have a relatively probably small fishing industry, but important to those that are involved in it. Obviously, we do have a really significant port, which is really important we're importing a lot of products. There's a nickel mine, or several nickel mines not far away, so we bring in a lot of sulphur for that process of the nickel mine, and we export nickel, we export iron ore. Iron ore is trained in from about 500 k's away. Export a lot of grain, import fertiliser, import petrol. So the port itself is a very big employer. And then we're a centre in the sense that we have probably 4 or 5 primary schools and 2 high schools and just a lot of government services. So we have a lot of tourism, a lot of contractors working in town. So there's a lot of other stuff going on. So yeah, we're blessed to have a wide sort of variety of things which sort of make the town tick.
So if you look at a town the size of Esperance or bigger, what's the closest one in which direction?
You go 400 k's north of Kalgoorlie.
Okay, so you're very much isolated in terms of, and I mean that in a positive sense as well, you're well away from other parts of the world, and you're servicing, well, based on that, people from 200 k's around you.
Oh, certainly, yeah. And even more, even up into the Bali area, which is sort of halfway between Esperance and Perth. A lot of people from there will come to Esperance as well for machinery and parts and bits and pieces. So, but yeah, so we're 400 k's from Kalgoorlie, which in Kalgoorlie is probably 3 times the size of Esperance.
Yes.
And
but I don't know that the beaches in Kalgoorlie are quite as nice as yours. I'd be happy to discuss that with you.
No, still looking for them.
I tell you what, they got a big hole. If they filled it up with water, it'd be a good swimming hole.
Yeah, well, they keep digging it out, finding more.
And there's plenty of sand. There's no issue there. It's just
gracious
just
me,
the lack of water.
That is spectacular. So 400 k's for a Western Australian, it's not really a long drive at all. That's a day trip there and back to have a look around Kalgoorlie. And there's some different stuff to see, completely different Esperance. That's what I was staggered around. But, isn't Kalgoorlie just a strangely magical place not far away for people who want to use Esperance as a base?
It's a fantastic place. We do get a lot of Kalgoorlieites come here on weekends and long weekends and that because they love their fishing and boating and they head this way. But yeah, look, I've got some friends in Kalgoorlie and they've been there for 20, 30 years and they just love it. You know, they love the lifestyle, the people they work with, meet. So yeah, look, there's lot to like about Kalgoorlie.
I reckon there's one the aforementioned former, well, he might still be the owner of the Kalgoorlie Hotel. He had his eyes on Esperance when I was there 4 years ago. He's probably ensconced with you now, a former Geelong footballer that spent a lot of time in the town here, and he found love in Western Australia, and he just loves Esperance like I do. So he's probably a regular there now, I reckon, taking in the fishing. I must check him out, and we'll get you two together if he's already down there. Hey, Grant, have you always been an Esperancean, or did you go there and stop because you fell in love?
No, look, I came here, in the very early 90s to work. My wife was from Esperance, and we relocated back from Perth to Esperance to work in her family business. And
you still are.
You never quite think how long you'll be at a place, and then today it's we're looking at it's 33 years. So time flies, but look, it's been very good to us, and we love it. But yeah, it was back in the early 90s.
Yeah, Rob's now just picked himself up and walked into the next studio because he's doing the next program, so you got me for the rest of the couple of minutes we've got left. So if people come to Esperance for a week, what do they do?
Oh, look.
Apart from visit the oil terminal, because that's obviously a highlight that you and I both take in.
It should be. No, look, I suppose a lot of people who come this way, a lot of families come down here and they just like to be able to take a relaxed week or weekend or week off. It can be just lazing around there, around town. It can be going out to some beaches. It can be going out to the local brewery for an afternoon. It can be driving an hour out to the beach to go hiking or camping or just having a barbecue. So it can be go and catch a local movie. So to do. Yeah, it's very relaxing.
Yeah, no, so it sounds like an ideal place for a holiday, and of course, if you can find yourself a job and live there, even better, I would have thought.
Yep. It's almost, I find that you come across people who once they come to Esperance for a holiday, because a lot of people in Perth, they think, look, it's a long way, 700 k's, it's a long drive. But once they make that effort to get here, an extra 3 or 4 hours driving, I really think that they fall in love with the place, and then people will make that effort to come back because that extra 2 or 3 hours driving is well worth that extra. So if you're going to stay for a week,
you may as well take the full day to get there.
Yeah, and look, it's it's certainly worth it. It's a really great place to be.
Yes, well, I've only been there the once and was very pleased with the hospitality shown to me by you and your parents-in-law who were running the business at the time. So I have very fond memories of Esperance, and we'll most certainly be back there one day. Don't you worry about that. Or actually worry about that.
So, Neil, the good news today for your listeners is the Tomahawks re-signed.
Yes, indeed. Rob's in the next studio bouncing around. He's very, very excited about that. So, before we let you go, who's the most famous footballer to come out of Esperance? Apart from yourself.
Oh, well, yeah, a good point. Maybe I'm thinking Jock Trelevin.
Okay.
He played about 80 games for Hawthorn. As a mature age, didn't get there until he was probably in his mid-20s.
Yep.
I apologise if I left someone off. I'm trying to think now.
That's all right. That's all good. We always like to put people on the spot. Grant, we appreciate you getting up a little bit earlier and talking to us before you had your breakfast over there in beautiful Esperance. We wholeheartedly recommend if people are going to Perth, particularly by road, do the left-hand turn when you get to Norseman and go around the coast because it is absolutely magnificent.
Well spoken, Neil. I agree.
Thank you very much. Grant Harris in Esperance, thanks for talking to us. We'll chat to you soon.
My pleasure. Thanks, Neil.
Thanks, mate.